Spider-Man No Way Home is out in under 2 weeks time. And before you go see it, this is everything you need to know. We are talking about it right now. Guys, welcome back to the Jersey Comic Crew. It's Chris and Rob here. And obviously we have questions, we have theories. This movie is the biggest movie since Endgame, really, Rob. And I have so many questions and theories I want to talk to you about, and I know you have the same. So just hit me with whatever. I'm ready to go.
So first off, we got to talk about the big obvious stuff, right? We got to talk about what we've seen in the trailers, kind of get ourselves in the right mindset. First, we know that Peter is public enemy number one. He's been framed by the dead Mysterio, right? Everybody knows his identity. His secret is out, and the whole world has their eyes on him. And he goes out to seek help from Doctor Strange, who for some reason, the Sanctorum is frozen over. Don't know what kind of mystical, magical elements is there. And Strange is okay with helping Spider-Man. But throughout the trailers, and this is the point we needed to talk about here. Throughout the trailers and such, it's kind of hinted and known that these Spider-Man villains that are coming into our multiverse die in their respective timelines. And Strange kind of seems to be okay with that and says that needs to happen. While Peter, as far as we understand, wants to save everybody because that's just who he is. So here's our first question. With Spider-Man helping the other villains and letting them live, does that change the multiverse forever? And does that mean maybe one character stays in our universe that we've seen in the other Spider-Man worlds?
Ooh, that's a great question, Rob. That's tough because, I don't know if Sam Raimi's going to be making any more Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films for them to go back. Obviously, it seems like Doctor Strange, right? He's like, hey, they all die fighting Spider-Man, kid. Sorry. That's like, I don't know. Some people are saying like it's Mephisto-esque. It's a dark thing. I think it's more like, hey, I got to protect the multiverse, and this is bigger than you or me. Like, this is already way too crazy. We have too many people coming in, and we kind of already broke it before we even got to, we broke the toy before we opened the box kind of thing. These villains, what is their purpose now? Is it like, hey, I got a second chance at life? Or is Otto Octavius going to kind of continue from the old movie where he's like, I will not die a monster. I'm going to help you fix this.
Because I could definitely see Doc Ock eventually helping Spider-Man throughout this movie. Because he's the one we see the most connection with, right? And Doc Ock used to be a mentor to Spider-Man back in the comics, even in the PlayStation 4 video game that we've all played and we're waiting for the second one to come out, right?
Yep.
They had that strong connection. And in here, I can see that forming again, and he decides that he needs to save everybody. I think the other ones are just seeking pure revenge, right? They're angry, they're motivated, they have these animalistic tendencies. They're just going. In that shot, we see Spider-Man jumping, right? And other people going into there. You're like, okay, there's Lizard, there's Electro, Sandman, all fueled by rage. Goblin's not in that shot, or at least we don't know for sure, right? What if in that shot, right? Hear me out. It's a 3-on-3, right? What if Doc Ock is helping Spider-Man and even Goblin is helping Spider-Man take on these other people, right?
I don't think Goblin is.
I don't. Why not, though? I think by the end of his movie, he realized that like Peter's doing this for good, and he kind of realized that he was being evil and twisted. I think
he died a psycho, man. Like, he died with like the gas taking over his mind, and like, got
sure
Spider-Man. I think Goblin. First of all, I'm so excited for Willem Dafoe coming back. I'm most excited for out of any character, but I think he's going to be so dementedly gone down the rabbit hole.
Okay.
Whereas, like, he's just going to be pure Goblin villain. I think your redeemable one is Doc Ock because he didn't want to die a monster. Peter Parker, brilliant but lazy. Those fantastic lines from the second one. And maybe Sandman. Because if you recall, as bad as Spider-Man 3 is, Sandman was a guy who just wanted to get back home to his kid.
That's
right?
true.
Like he didn't die. He just kind of floated away and left it alone. So I don't know how he's going to be wrapped up into this besides being pulled into the multiverse with everybody else. But that's going to be one of those interesting things. I think Electro, you're absolutely right. Revenge, Lizard, revenge, Goblin, chaos and anarchy.
Chaos,
Going to be like a flying Joker, basically.
We do need to talk about one thing with the multiverse, right? There have been so many rumors circulating that there's two other Spiders making an appearance, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
If they are to appear, how much are they actually going to be in the movie, right? Because this is definitely treading on Spider-Verse territory, which we have the animated universe for, which we just got the release of the title for the next movie. It's Through the Spider-Verse Part 1.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, yeah, Across the Spider-Verse. So maybe they have a connection. Now people are starting to speculate maybe Miles from the animated universe is going to come in live action and do all kinds of crazy things. I don't think so. And if we do get Toby and Andrew, I think it's going to be in the last act of the movie just for a little bit. I don't think they're going to be a core to the movie.
I think the question with Toby and Andrew now isn't even if they're in the movie anymore. It's just how much they're in it. I think at this point it's totally there. I think with the posters and the trailers, obviously we had that Brazilian trailer where you see, Lizard's head get punched by nothing. Marvel is obviously known for taking, characters and things out. I think it's a definite that they're in this movie. I just think it's how much. I agree. Like, at the end of the day, this is a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. And we know we're getting more. We just got news that there's going to be at least 3 more.
True. With
Spider-Man
him.
movies with him in the MCU. So this is kind of closing out that first act. At the end of the day, it's got to be about him and his storyline kind of finishing. I think we might see bits and pieces of them in scenes, whether it's like they're in New York City, like as like quote unquote Peter Parkers and just like walking around confused. And then they just end up helping when chaos ensues because that's who they are. I would absolutely love to see a live action Miles. To your point, I think we're kind of leaning towards later on in the MCU getting a live action Miles. I don't see how that's not possible at this point. With, his own video games, the comics, and everything kind of coming to fruition. And then on top of that, I'd love to see like Toby as the oldest of the Spider-Men because he was the first one. Kind of almost have that mentorship a little bit like we got in Spider-Verse, right? Where like the older Peter Parker mentors, not necessarily willingly with Miles, but like kind of with the younger one and be like, listen, here's all my mistakes. Avoid all of this. Like, enjoy this, this, and this. So I hope there is a little bit of like kind of like that, not necessarily nostalgia, but that like heartfelt moment with the new Spider-Man with some of the old.
The only way I can see people coming out of this movie upset is if you don't see the cameos from Toby and Andrew, right? If you don't see the other Spider-Man, I think people are going to lose their mind. I personally won't. I think I'm going to enjoy it regardless. But that's the scenario that I can see. This movie is an event movie. We don't really get those anymore. So obviously this has the weight of being an event movie. Like, everything has to be good. Has to blow ourselves out of the water. It has to introduce Mephisto and X-Men and Fantastic Four and the multiverse all in one movie. It doesn't have to. Those things aren't going to happen. People want them to happen. And animated Miles Morales is going to come on the screen and fight with them, and he's going to be animated. The others are going to be real. That's not going to happen, guys.
So insane.
I think we're just getting in a frenzy of we don't know what's going on, and we're creating our own like magical theories, which is going to be fantastic. But I have to ask you, Chris, you've been on the Mephisto train since day one. With back in WandaVision, you've been the conductor with everybody else, and I'm still waiting to get my ticket punched before I join on the train. In this movie,
I'm just letting the express go by.
In this movie, we know we have Doctor Strange. His magic castle is frozen over. Are you still driving the ship, the train that Mephisto's making an appearance in this movie? Or he's being introduced, his lore, his cameo, something to that effect. Are you still driving?
I am at the moment.
I know.
It's hard not to.
You're always driving that car.
It's the quack like a duck scenario, right? Like why is every shot we've seen of the Sanctum Sanctorum, it's still frozen? Why? Like, how bad is your heat broken in there, dude? Like, I know it's New York City, but like, Jesus. Like, there's got to be something else. And Strange is very adamant about these people dying.
Yes.
Mephisto is a soul taker. He wants souls. Is that part of it, right? Where you have that shot of them on the train where he's like making a billion like Q trains going now, and like Spidey's like, we don't have to do this. He's like, oh, they gotta die. And then the other aspect of this too is it seems like the storyline, which we've talked about, is taking a lot from One More Day, which hopefully it's taking, not the terrible stuff, which obviously there's no marriage right now, but it's taking that where Spidey kind of gave part of his soul to save his Aunt May and yada yada yada. So that could be a big part. There's a small scene in the trailer which no one's really talking about. And it's a scene where Aunt May is running full speed, which looks like out of the Feast building, which Feast, for if you don't know, is kind of her and Peter's like give back community building shelter. They shelter homeless, they feed homeless, and there seems to be a lot of green, like it looks like Green Goblin bombs. And insert line here, Norman in that original Spider-Man movie, when he finds out Peter Parker's Spider-Man, he has that conversation with the Goblin, attack his heart. First, you attack his heart. So obviously he's going to go after Aunt May. So is this one of those Mephisto one more day Etch-a-Sketch, like, here, look, it's
like Aunt May's going to die. You got to give up your soul to save her.
Or she's going to be hurt. Or it seems like she gets saved from that instance, but I mean, it's all pointing to this, not saying he's going to be a main character at all. I think this movie's packed enough. I'm actually worried it's too packed. I'm on the other side of this where I'm a little worried it's going to be a little too much. But I think there is cause to question, hey, could we see him in a cameo at the end of the movie? Could it be revealed that Strange was him the whole time? Could it be revealed that he's, somehow gotten to Earth based on the incidents with WandaVision and or Agatha Harkness?
Here's my thing with Doctor Strange. This is my theory, and then we're going to see if it's right. I think we, as comic fans and MCU viewers, love to take the idea and make it bigger than life and crazy.
Yeah.
When in reality, if you take the idea and put it in the MCU bubble and localize it, you're going to get a very good idea. What I mean by this is Doctor Strange in the Sanctum Sanctorum and all this kind of stuff is actually Mysterio. Mysterio, I'm thinking, takes over Doctor Strange, knocks him out, gets real magic now. Instead of these fake stuff, he'll get real magic and create these illusions and like the stuff he's seen from these other visitors from other worlds. I can see this all being a grand illusion attempt by Mysterio, who's got access to magic, and making us, as well as Peter, think there's other universes connected, other heroes and monsters that are coming, and this is all in his head, and it's going to be a great big twist to put the nail on the head. That's my thinking here. I don't think it's as much as we want, it's multiverse. It's No Way Home, right?
Yeah.
To continue on the Mysterio story, really make him a threat, because we do have these Sinister Sticks starting to form in this universe, right? Aside from the other stuff, you have Mysterio, Vulture, Scorpion. Yes, in the side things, but I think all this other stuff is going to really be Mysterio using magic and automatons and robots to mess with Peter's head, to make this think there's more villains out there, put them on this whole grand journey, and eventually
I would love that.
Doctor Strange and Peter has to team up together to take him out.
The whole thing is Mysterio. Andrew and Toby are Mysterio.
Yes.
Goblin and
it's
Doc
all
Ock
Mysterio.
are Mysterio. I'm Mysterio.
The reason the Sanctum is frozen over is because when Mysterio is learning magic, he made an accident and he froze over, like the Sanctum Sanctorum. He's just dealing with it because he doesn't know how to change it. He's still learning his magic, right? And he's playing it off because he has that acting ability. But you're thinking, where's Doctor Strange? What is he doing? Doctor Strange is busy dealing with the multiverse of madness and all the shit with Loki and Wanda and all this kind of. He's not here, and Mysterio
He's just literally
there,
holding the multiverse together.
He's doing something else. I'm telling you, my big crazy thing that's grounded is this all Mysterio, and you've all been fooled.
Everyone bookmark this last 3 minutes, so when Rob and I are both terribly wrong after seeing the movie in the review, make sure to comment down below of how wrong we are. Or how right we might be. Who knows?
Who knows?
I would be totally okay with it because one, Mysterio is one of my favorite Spidey villains of all time.
Yeah.
And two, I think you're grabbing a little of that, like some of the newer comics where Mysterio has been dabbling in magic.
Yeah.
And there was like this big question mark. I can't recall what exact book it was. There's so many damn Marvel events. But I think there was a shot in the future where Mysterio took over the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yes.
In a possible future.
Yes.
So because Mysterio's an illusionist, you don't know if it's illusions. Is he dabbling in dark magic? We're seeing a lot more of that come into the MCU, obviously, with Wanda. Agatha Harkness is going to get her own show on Disney+. All that kind of stuff is starting to kind of seep into this world. So could totally be. The other one is Venom. The last one.
I don't think Venom's making an appearance in this movie. I'll be honest.
Really, after I feel like this is the one where he kind of has to show up. Where else would he show up? They pushed that Carnage movie out so fast and so hard to get to that after credit scene. I feel like it's just to be like, hey, he's gonna like. So we had to get this movie out because he's gonna be cameoing in the Spider-Man movie.
I mean, the reason I don't, because I think it's just so much there. I mean, packed. Yeah, this packed. Other argument, maybe it's Doc Ock, Spider-Man, Venom working together, cool, right? And it's not the Tobey and Andrew. I still on the firm stance. I don't think they're making an appearance, right? And that's why I'm creating these other scenarios, right? But if Venom doesn't show in this movie, I think he's going to be in the next one, and then he just like all this is happening in like an instant. He gets teleported. He doesn't even have time to like act. He's like, I'm looking at the TV and everything's fighting, and he's like, I guess this is what's happening, right?
I'm okay with him not showing up personally.
I don't think he's going to show up in this. I think that after credit scene is just him coming into the MCU now.
Interesting.
And now from here on out, they're going to have this partnership with Venom and Spider-Man going forward, whether it's in the Spider-Man movies or versus the future Venom movies are also going to have the same deal that Spider-Man has. They play in the MCU, not necessarily with the characters without the without the authority, just like Spider-Man. I think they're going to have that same deal moving forward with Venom, which would be very beneficial for Sony, very beneficial to all of us, because we're like, all right, you get better writing, right? And you get better, you get some better stuff, right?
Just let Feige handle it.
Just let Feige handle it. And it's cool because like they can still get like the Venom or origin lore come in and then like connect with Spider-Man, and he's like, whoa, this happened to me in my universe. Like, this is what you have to do. And like they can still have like a new Venom story, but just like after he leaves Peter, after he leaves Peter, he connects back with Rock and they make like a super Venom or some nonsense. It doesn't, whatever science magic they want to put in there, and maybe the two Venoms colliding, create Noel come down to attack, whatever they want to do, it's fine with me.
So I'm okay without Venom being in this movie, absolutely. I'm just wondering because it seemed like that was such a push to get him in. This seems like the only thing on the list of like, you know, movies and TV shows that would make sense for him to show up in. And you're probably going to see him in a movie, not necessarily a TV show.
No, you're not going to see him in a TV show.
You know what I mean? So unless that, you know, his getting activated was Strange messing up the spell. Mm-hmm. So him getting into the MCU is going to like line up with that in the movie. Or
it's the ending, right? When like, let's say supposedly Doctor Strange fixes everything and then he comes in, he's like, what? Huh?
He's the one that's stuck here, maybe?
Yeah, he gets stuck.
And the last but not least area is there's so many hints of cameos, right? Like it seems like we're getting cameos across the board. The uncle in Hawkeye currently, who we basically kind of know as Kingpin. And we just got breaking news last night that Daredevil, Matt Murdock, Charlie Cox is back. Kevin Feige has confirmed that Charlie Cox will be returning as Daredevil.
And what?
No title of anything yet, but Matt Murdock is back.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, because you were out of town yesterday, but it's on the Instagram. I put it up late last night, people, so go check it out. So now that more than almost anything has kind of been like, okay. Are we getting him in Spider-Man as like his attorney? Are we getting him in She-Hulk? Are we getting like
I don't care.
Blade? Where is he coming at us? Is he going to show up at the end of Hawkeye? Like, where is he coming in?
He could be wherever he wants to come in.
Rob's mind is melted.
My mind's broken. I was not ready for this news to drop in my face. I
was so happy.
I have been away, ladies and gentlemen. Like, no internet. Like, I couldn't get to the internet till today. And I'm still catching up on stuff. So, okay.
That's a raw reaction, people. That is not staged.
Daredevil's in this, and he is teaming up
so.
with Doc Ock and Venom to take everybody else out.
Erase the last 15 minutes.
The last half hour we've been talking.
I don't think he's going to be in this. I think he's going to be in She-Hulk personally, but you never know. And I think, especially with 3 more Spider-Man movies, you're going to tell me they're not going to do a Daredevil Spider-Man team up.
Or Daredevil and Echo, definitely. I can see him coming in Echo. Oh my God. There's too much news here, guys. That's going to lead into a whole nother conversation for another video. But we want to know down in the comments below what you think of the Spider-Man No Way Home before you watch it. Who do you think is going to be in there? What's your favorite theory and your most likely thing to happen? Let us know down below.
And guys, thanks so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up, like. It really helps the channel out a lot. If you're new, subscribe and turn on those notifications. You don't want to miss any more of our videos, whether it's before, after, in between. All the stuff we talk about. You know we're going to hit up Spider-Man when it comes out. And make sure to check out any videos if you missed them on the channel right here. And as always, my name is Chris Heller. That is Rob Moran. We're the Jersey Comic Crew. And we will see you next time.